have seen a black person. So I don't know, like he was just looking at me, like rubbing my skin. I was like, God, I've heard a lot of these things out there, and I didn't take it seriously. Honestly, I didn't take it seriously, but along the line, I felt a little bit uncomfortable, you know.
Hi, Patrick. We are happy to have you here. Thank you for honoring this invitation. Please, can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes, I'm Patrick Ogbe. I can be called Patrick. I can be called Shan. I can also be called Shankara. Anyone that you mention, I'll respond. I'm currently in Ghana, working as a business development specialist with the Minerals Income Investment Fund. That's the sovereign fund in the country. And we collect royalties on behalf of the government. So we collect royalties from the mining companies and we invest in the mineral sector. Proud to join in the Minerals Income Investment Fund. I was with GIZ, that's a German corporation working in Ghana. Before I completed my master's from South Korea, I had the opportunity to gain a scholarship with the Korean Development Institute of Public Policy and Management. In short, we call it KDI School, which is located in Sejong in South Korea. I did my master's. I graduated with a master's in public management. As you all know, outside Ghana or most developed countries, choosing courses or graduating with such programs, you have the liberty to select courses across board. So with an undergraduate degree in economics, I chose courses like econometrics, microeconomics, macroeconomics. I did public management. I did policy courses. And I'm happy that I graduated having a lot of idea or knowledge in different fields altogether. I completed in 2016 and I came back to Ghana in 2016 and I joined the GIZ Ghana, which is the Government Developed Corporation. I'm sure along the line, I'll be able to respond to other questions. Thank you.
You are welcome. And I'm happy to know that you had a scholarship, right, to Korea?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you please elaborate on that? How did you get the scholarship?
Right. As I said, I completed my undergraduate from the University of Ghana. I read economics. So I had a first class in economics. So I was a teaching assistant at the University of Ghana Economics Department. Whilst I was there, I was trying to apply for some courses, for some programs outside. I started with the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. As you all know, it's one of the biggest European scholarship consortium that we try to apply. I applied a couple of scholarships, but I was not successful. I was part of the first three. As part of the process, I was not selected because they needed only one, and I had the chance to get in touch with a friend who already graduated from the KDI school. So he sent me the link and I applied for it. It's a full scholarship, which includes your flight, your stipend, your accommodation, everything is inclusive. And that's how I got to know about the KDI school. I have not regretted because it has really, really impacted my life and it has really brought me this far.
Okay, so way back in, let's start from when you were in Ghana. So what made you go in to look for a scholarship? Like what impacted your decision in going in to look for a scholarship?
Right. As a teaching assistant, I guess I have the first spot to continue with my master's in the department because definitely I would have gotten in touch with other lecturers and I was working with other lecturers, but I wanted to have that kind of experience out there. And with Korea, reading their history, you could see how much they've developed over the years. They gained independence with Ghana the same year, 1957. But if you look at their economic trajectory, you see that they've really gone very far. And that was what really, really encouraged me to apply to that school. Yes, I know people apply. People always want to be in the US, in Canada, and Europe. But I decided to go into Asia because Korea is part of the Asian Tigers, if you want to know. So we have Asia, China, we have Korea, China, Taiwan, but I think Korea is leading in that aspect. And in terms of policy making, in terms of research, Korea is on top. And I was also very much taken away by their way of doing things and the way they really changed the hardships in the economy. And right now, if you take the first 10 developed countries, Korea is part of them. So that's why I really chose to be in Korea to further my education.
Okay, so how has your time in Korea influenced your during that time? How has it influenced your personal and professional growth?
A lot. Being in Korea, I have really studied a lot. The way of doing things, their culture. I really had a culture shock when I got there, because for some people, that was the first time they are seeing a Black person. For others, they were not able to speak the English language. They speak Hangul or Korean. That's how they say Hangul or Korean, and sometimes very difficult for you to communicate with them. Apart from those living in school, who can be able to communicate with you in English, the rest no. But being in Korea, I've learned a lot. I got to Korea in 2015. The way of studying, the competition was very tough. Trust me, people don't sleep. You have to be abreast with everything that is happening. We have people who are already working, but because of the competition in the working space, they have to further the education. They have no choice than to further the education, otherwise they'll be kicked out of the system. Apart from that, I think you are open to a lot of things. As I said, the culture, the way of doing things. Koreans are very trustworthy, trust me, and they are very punctual. That is one thing I really learned from the Koreans. They are very punctual. Give a Korean at 3:05 p.m. and he or she will be there before 3:05 p.m. And I think that's really that has really also helped my way of doing things. They are very organized. They get things done. No excuse, you have to get it done. And I think that has really helped me in my professional life. I started with the German Development Corporation as an intern. Back from there, I wanted to join the international organization. And I'm glad I really imparted in that sphere. I joined as an intern. I continued, got employment as an executive assistant, and I became a monitoring evaluation advisor in just a year. So trust me, my education in Korea has really imparted in a positive way, both personally and professionally.
Wow, that's great and good to hear. In what ways do you think your international education in Korea has prepared you to contribute to your homeland, like to contribute to Ghana or the Africa continent?
Right. I think KDI school was a school for a lot of international people. In my time, we had almost 67 nationals or 67 students coming from different countries. I am bold to say that at least I have a friend or a coursemate in every country in the world, and I try to keep contact with them. Coming from Korea, I think the way of doing things, their education is great. Their research, it's super. If you look at the top 10 research institutions, KDI is my school. KDI is part of them. And there is something in Korea that we call pali pali. So pali pali is a term that most people who immediately get to Korea understand. Pali pali means fast. So you have to do everything fast. No excuse. You just have to get things done. And I think that's really something that I've really inculcated in my way of doing things. So at work, people always say, Charlie, you just have to take a chill pill. But I always try to beat deadline, how to want to get things done, and always like, hey, come on, we are not Asians. You have to take time. But yeah, that's the way of doing things. And I think that really have imparted my life positively to this far. And so I had the privilege to also go or visit the rural areas. So there is something we call Sama Undo. So that's a Korean word, Sama Undo. So Sama Undo means that let's all get involved. So we all get involved, whether you are the subordinate or you are the manager, whether you are the employee or the employer, you have to get involved. If really you achieve something in the short term, everybody have to get involved. And that's how I've also learned from it. Back at work, people always see me everywhere. I'm a team player. I'm always with the cleaners. I'm always with people below me because hey, it's for work. And the more you get in touch with people, the more you guys try to coordinate, the more you achieve the main objective.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sounds good. And it's true. If you don't get people around you, at the end of the day, you are going to suffer if you are the head or some, like people would start sabotaging your work and other stuff. So it's good. So what were the most significant cultural differences or adjustments you had to make when transitioning from Korea to Africa?
Wow. So I know most people enjoy watching the Korean series, and I know most people would love to taste their dishes. As a first timer traveling outside the country, my destination was to be in Asia. You can just imagine the food that we see on telly. So I packed my gari, I packed my shito and my sardine because hey, I thought with what I saw on the television, I don't think I'm going to adjust. And so I remember I got to school. That was late in the evening. I got to school around 11 p.m. and my dorm master came around, asked if we were eating. I said no, and this guy just gave me noodles. So noodles here in Ghana we say indomie. So he gave me noodles and there was no gas, nothing, and he just told me to just pour water on it. Give me the sticks, and I was like, wow. Then within 3 minutes, he said, I should have this. This is the soup with the water poured on the noodles. I said, God, I think I'm really going for a long haul and I have to adjust myself. I think the first week, I was just depending on my gari and shito and eating the European food. So pizza, those things are the European stuff. They are not for Korean. So pizza, burger, and rice. Then in the next